Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. All right, looks like the mic is working. I'm going to be starting shortly, just getting myself organized. All right, testing to see if you hear my music, which I hope you don't. All right, sounds like that is working. Let's get this show on the road. All right, sounds like that is working. Let's get this show on the road. All right. Okay. So, what are we doing today? Well, we're going to do some little miscellaneous stuff that I'm trying to figure out. The biggest issue that I've been trying to do is come up with a way to make the projects I host in my local coder server public or private. And I had some of this working, but what I really need to figure out is how to fix the OAuth, and I was really struggling with it yesterday, so I had ChatGPT come up with a tutorial for me to see if it can help me walk through and fix some of this. So let's open up Arc and take a look at where I left off in this. All right, so where are we? All right, so let's see what I wanted to do here. I'm still figuring out all this hardware stuff and just doing some more tests. So until I get a little bit better at this, it's going to be a little rough going. All right, so setting up GitHub OAuth 2 proxy container. I guess some of this stuff I'm going to have to do privately or not. I don't even know because, well, I mean, no one's even watching the stream, so what do I care? All right, let's see. Let's start. Register with GitHub callback node. So set the callback URL of your auth domain. All right, I'm going to have ChatGPT start a new conversation with me. So basically what I'm doing here, let me get my windows organized here, is that I had a chat. I need you to help me go through this tutorial step by step and only move on to the next step when I confirm the current step works. Oops. Step works. also keep all responses short unless I ask for more information, more details. All right, so this is what I generated previously. Let's get this going, and then what we're going to do, I guess I'll just make this sort of, wow, man, OpenAI just like really needs to figure out how to build an app, because whatever the CSS is doing right now is annoying. All I want to do is get this to fill this thing up here, and all right, whatever. I can't continue to try to fix their garbage. So let's see here. I'm going to put this here, and all right, let's get started. So go to GitHub settings, developer settings, OAuth, new auth app. I feel like I've already done this, but we're going to do this again. So GitHub, let's go to settings. That's not what I wanted. All right, let's go to settings, developer settings. Wait, where are the developer settings? Oh, here we go, developer settings, and GitHub apps, OAuth apps. So I have one of these already set up. I don't want to mess up my key. Transfer ownership, fine. All right, it's the homepage URL. Application, authorized callback URL. So I have this already set up. Let me just copy this and just make sure. And let's just ask ChatGPT to confirm that. Does this all look right? And actually, I want to move to, where do I move to a different model? Let's do the mini high model. See if this is a little bit better. Yes, it looks right. Let's make sure the callback exactly matches the one you'll use for the auth proxy. Perfect. All right, what's next? So I've been trying this all weekend. What I was trying to avoid, so I have my own version of Coder that I host in my own server. So if I go to code, we can code project, and why does this not have my actual password? All right, let me see what I can do here. One password. Oh, well, I can memorize this one. This is Jesse Freeman gmail.com, and this is just or not. Oh, one of those fun ones. What is going on here? All right, let me just copy and paste this over from 1Password. There we go. All right, so I was working on this test yesterday, and what I want to do is let's go through and, oh, this is not going to work very well because I was having a problem with Parsec and I can't log into my Mac from something crashed with Parsec, but that's fine. What we're going to do is we'll just SSH in. So let's stick with, well, let's do this. No, this is annoying. I need to figure out how to restart my Mac remotely and then pray that all this works. how to restart Mac from SSH. All right. What I want is a terminal. All right, so SSH mini, wait, SSH NAS mini NAS.local. And let's put in my password. And we'll clear this, clear, and then, all right, now the moment of truth. Let's remotely try to restart this computer so that I can get Parsec working so I can remote back into it. So sudo shutdown R now. All right, let me close this out. All right, here we go. Final system message says system is shutting down immediately. Shutdown has happened. Disconnect. All right, so let's clear this. I don't know what just happened. It looked like everything is locked up on my end when I tried to restart it, but now let's do SSH NAS mini NAS local. And it looks like it's back up. So now the real question is Parsec. Okay, good. So it looks like Parsec is working. Oh my God, stop with the snapping. All right, we'll connect to my mini Mac. So I have a M4 Mac Mini that I'm using as my, wait, what is going on? All right, there we go. For some reason, it looked like all my streams had died. I don't know what happened. That was really weird when it locked up. All right, so I have a Mac Mini or an M4 Mini that I use as my NAS and my developer environment. Let's log into this because we're going to have to do some stuff in here anyways. Right now it's a little bit of a mess. All right, we don't need this. We don't need to know about the syncing. And clear docker compose upd, and let's just make sure that everything with Coder is now running correctly. And let me get out of this and go here for a second and refresh it. And all right, good. So Coder is back to working. Now I can jump in and work on the compose file that lives on my my Mac Mini. So now it's saying deploy the OAuth proxy container. Prepare the environment variables for OAuth proxy. So here's what I'm going to do. Let's copy all this and let's just make sure that it can you tell me if this is correct? Let's just have it go through all of this for me. Wow, it's asking me what it wants to do. Let's start with the OAuth 2, since that is the step we're on. All right, so got it. Let's see what it's going to do here. Verify the OAuth proxy container is properly configured using OAuth and traffic integration, including environment, middleware, network, and service routings. I'll let you know when it's ready. Uh-oh. I mean, I'm glad that now it decides it wants to do research, but sometimes this research just takes forever. Well, while we wait, there's some things that I wanted to, I'll just do some cleanup while I'm waiting, because all of these tests and stuff that I was doing yesterday just need to be deleted. So let me just remove all of this and clean up. Do a little housekeeping. Delete. Node test 4, you're already deleting that one. Test 17 we can delete. You can already tell by how many tests I had that there's a lot of trial and error that I had to deal with yesterday. Let's delete this. And then in our workspace, that's being deleted. 23, let's delete this one. I don't know why ChatGPT is taking so long to look this up. This was a pretty straightforward and simple thing. I don't even know why it's analyzing with Python. Like, I don't even know what the hell it is doing. So a lot of the problem that arose is that I've been trying to get Supabase to run locally on my own test server, or my NAS, and I've been running into a lot of problems just because of the way the Docker is working inside of it and the fact that Coder itself is in a Docker. So it winds up, the issue is that I can't get it fully running. So now I'm trying to at least get this notion between, can I have projects that are public and can I have projects that are private? And this way I can make a database public and connect it to something like Lovable and stop having to pay Supabase.com money every month, because I am a cheap developer. Hey, Wizard NJ. Sorry, I just saw the chat, so I'm still getting used to streaming again. It's been a very long time and trying to grow that muscle back. So these aren't going to be very exciting streams for the next couple of days. Next week, this week I'm moving into a new office, which I've been packing for all day and weekend. And once I set up my new office next week, I'm going to try to get into a more consistent streaming schedule. I would like to get to the point where I can actually start building some games and stuff. Most of the time I've just been building little AI apps now. So, what is this warning? Workspace is unhealthy. Workspace is running, but one agent is unhealthy. Let's restart this workspace. All right, so, oh my God, ChatGPT, just get to the point. Like, it shouldn't be taking this long to give me a simple yes or no answer. All right, well, whatever. So, if you're not familiar with Coder, this is basically like a Visual Studio dev environment that you can run either locally or you can go to coder.com. So what I do, it basically uses Terraform templates to generate out dev environments, and then you can have them run inside of Docker itself, which is sort of the problem I have because I'm doing Docker within Docker, which leads to some really messy things. But let's expand this out. So here, this is just a generic project that I have my node template make. And all it does is it just comes up with a little server here. If I did node server, it'll tell me that it's listening on port 8080. And I can open it up in the browser and I can see there's the hello world. Now, what's supposed to happen, and this is a big problem I was running into when I was using, trying to get Lovable apps to run locally, is that it loves to give this garbage URL at the end of it with the proxy and the way that it does it. So I was trying to clean all this up. And I came up with a system where, let's see, this is node test 24. The way the system sort of works is it's supposed to be coder dot, actually, no, I lied. It's supposed to be, yeah, coder dash Jesse Freeman. This is one of the other projects I was having. And this was node test 24. All right, and here you'll see it says hello world 2. And what's happening is that I'm using a node container to run Trafic, I think is how you pronounce it. And what it's doing is anytime I go to Cloudflare, where I'm tunneling my subdomain for Weekend Code Project, and I put in the name of the container that is running in Docker, it will route that call to the container, and then it'll host it. So now every website that I run, at least it looks like it to itself, it has a clean URL, so everything can run at root. So I don't have to do all these like weird config files. Like, okay, if I'm in this environment, load everything through these paths, or if I'm in this environment, load it through the other path. This just sort of simplifies things. The problem I'm having is that this also adds a little bit of complexity, because I also don't want to expose this entire server to anyone else who sees the URL on these streams. So what I've been messing around with is if I go to, wait, where is, why did I lose my coder tab? All right, whatever. Let's just go here. We'll create a new tab, and we're going to call this, we're just going to go to code.weekendcodeproject. Oh my God, what is weekend code? The autocomplete is screwing me up here. There we go. All right, so when I look at this node test, what I've been doing, oh my God, how long is it researching one simple question for my Docker file? If I go into the settings here, what I can do, and this is what I've been building out, is that now I have this thing where I can make this public, or I can make it private. So if I submit and restart this, once this container or this dev environment boots back up, what you'll be able to see is that if I go to this hello world and refresh it, it's going to give me a 404. But if I, well, actually it might give me a 404 because I've restarted the container. Let's see, node server. Oh, did not like that at all, huh? I think it's already running. Where? What happened to all my other tabs? Where are my ports? Yeah, I think it's still running. Whoa, cool. Nothing wants to work, huh? This has been like a little bit, this is not my specialty. Let me stop this port forwarding. I really don't know a lot about how this stuff works and setting up like all the back end and these Terraform templates and all this stuff. I mean, I get it conceptually, but there's a lot of moving parts. Oh my God, ChatGPT must get paid by the hour. Like, what are we doing here? Just give me the answer already. This is such a mistake to use the mini high model, because now all of a sudden the mini high model now does deep research, and I've never seen it act this slow for a simple question. Let's see, node server JS. All right, there we go. I just had to kill the previous port because I didn't shut it down correctly. So now if I open this in the server, you'll see here, it says hello world. So when I test it locally through the proxy, it'll work. But when I go to, I believe it was so many tabs. Or this should now work, because this is the other one. All right, let's close this one out. All right, so this one, which is now going through Cloudflare to Traefik to the actual container, is giving me a 404 because it is blocked, because I made it private. So now the fun that I'm trying to do is that I'm trying to get OAuth to work so that I can basically I can whitelist certain accounts for OAuth, and I was trying to tie it to GitHub. So if I wanted to let other people come in and see it, if they had a GitHub account, I could whitelist them. All they have to do is be signed in through GitHub, and then they would see it. So theoretically, what's supposed to be happening if ChatGPT can get its shit together is that when I hit this page, Traefik is supposed to pull up an OAuth authentication and then let me log in through GitHub. And then if it's a valid GitHub, it'll go to the, it'll just go to the actual page and show it to me, blah. I don't understand what is taking so long. All right. Anyways, at a high level, that's basically what this is for me. So I have all these different workspaces that I'm testing around with, and I have templates that I've been messing around with. This is the newer template that I'm getting to work. There's a lot of trial and error that's been going on. I've also been trying to do some interesting things where I can create like a little dev environment for GitHub pages if I wanted to test how GitHub pages would render locally. But the biggest thing, what I'm trying to avoid here and what I don't want to do is, one, I constantly am using different computers all the time. I have several computers that I switch between based on sort of the need or where I am or if I want a portable one or not. And then I don't want to have to keep setting up dev environments. And especially if I don't want to have to keep setting up dev environments that require specific configurations. So I've been moving all of my dev over to Docker. And what this has allowed me to do is now, like for the GitHub pages, for example, I don't have to install Ruby on my PC. I can just install Ruby in Docker and then mount it. And then I can create, whenever I want, a really quick dev environment to show what GitHub page containers would look like. So since I'm just babbling and killing some time, I can give you guys sort of an example. So this AI for devs is a GitHub site that I've been working on, and all it is a GitHub Docs site. So I should be able to boot this up, and once this gets running, I have never seen ChatGPT run this slow. This research feature is just terrible. Like, unless I specifically ask it for it, it shouldn't be doing this, and I can't even stop it or do anything. It's just locked in this, just whatever it is it's doing. Anyways, so Coder is now pulling up an entire Jekyll environment for me. If I open up this code server, I'm trying to remember, it's been a while since I looked at this one. I think I just have to run the start Jekyll. Why is this not auto-completing? Oh, my layers are wrong on my keyboard. There we go. Start Jekyll. All right, yeah. So here you'll see, like for this example here, oh, hey, good. It finally figured out the research was done. Anyways, I'll just finish showing up this example. So now I have this where if I open up in the browser, it's showing me a GitHub pages site using Jekyll to compile it. So if I went back and made some changes and stuff, it would all reflect live. So that's sort of the beauty of it. And then what I could do is I can come here, and then when I'm done working on this project, I can just stop the container, and then let's see, where was that page? And then now this whole dev environment goes down with it, although it should go down with it. I think it's still trying to shut itself down. Yeah, okay, I see it's trying to load. All right, so I can close this one out. So let's go here and let's take a look at what the hell. Let me see, I'm just trying to get to, I want to get this to a place where I can actually see 3 tabs that I need. Coder, workspace, we don't need this one anymore. And this is the node workspace. Okay, great. So let's see, OAuth proxy, Docker Compose, configuration review. Network import authority report. Wow, it just gave me so much shit. I have no need for any of this. Okay, can you just answer the question? Did my compose file have the right settings for OAuth? It's funny, because I specifically told it to not give me a bunch of data, and it's decided that it's going to research for 10 minutes. Yes, your OAuth 2 proxy settings look right for GitHub OAuth with Trafic, aside from possibly adding a whitelist domain if needed. Okay, what is the next step? I wonder if it's like lost its context at this point. Next, let's configure Trafic routes and middleware for OAuth. Let me know when you're ready for the details. Yes. Can you review the compose file I showed you and give me back any changes I need to make? Oh my God, I'm so boring. This, I will say, is probably the most boring part of trying to code or get help with an AI, is that you're just sitting here waiting for it to do something when normally I would just be randomly typing stuff away to figure out how to build it myself. Fortunately, this stuff is like so over my head. I've done some OAuth stuff before. I've done some of this authentication, but this is not the way that this is so complicated. The way I'm using like Docker and Coder and the proxies and all this other stuff, and then my own server, it's just a little beyond me. So here are the changes needed. Add the redirect URL, including the environment variable. Set the cookie domain, add, and secure cookie improve. Okay, cool. So we're doing this crap where it tells me to do stuff, but it just doesn't really want to actually tell me where. So okay. All right, let's just copy out the Trafic proxy and the I think in the OAuth proxy. Can you update this code and give me it back? All right, so let's see if we can get it just to make these changes, because it wasn't very clear. It told me to make changes, but saying add a redirect URL. Okay, so I'm assuming this proxy URL would be here, but I also want to make sure that it's not being duplicated somewhere else. All right, so here it's rewriting this, and let's see if this works. So I've been doing this for a day. It actually took me a lot of different tries over like maybe a month to finally figure out how to get the tunnel stuff working correctly. Well, the tunnel I got up really easy because Cloudflare like made it very easy. The problem I had was how do I get around the proxy URL that Coder creates, and then keep it within my domain. So when I finally figured that out, that was good. Let's see here. Here's all the code now. Let's copy this over. Let's go here, and let's paste this back in. So I'm going to save this, and let's see what I should do next. What is the next step? So a lot of this is just like foundational stuff. So once I finally get this stuff working and I figure it out, I'll be able to move back into app development. All right, the next step is to attach the forward auth middleware to your protected service routers, i.e. your code service. So the Trafic directs. What about restarting Trafic and OAuth? Yes, I know I should do it. That's why I told you if we should, whatever. All right, let's restart those containers. All right. Yeah, if I could figure out a way to self-host my own databases, add the forward auth middleware to your protected service, your Coder container, for example. Update your coder service like this. Interesting. So in the past, it didn't tell me to update coder. That's interesting. So let's see here. All right, so we'll save this, restart your coder container, and test the protected routes. All right, so restart coder. Well, I guess it gave me some garbage. All right, let's see here. I'm seeing these errors. Oops. Seeing these errors. What did I do wrong? Show me the full updated compose. Oh my God. I didn't mean to sneeze in the cam. I can't find my mic mute button. So sorry about that sneeze. So unprofessional of me. All right, let's give it back this whole Docker thing and see if it can spit out something useful. I still have a lot of work to do in this setup to get this to where I can like mute things if I need to sneeze like that or whatever. It's been so long since I've done the streaming. I started testing out a little bit last week. It's funny because I really I've been getting back into the game Colonization, which I don't know if you've ever played, you know, Civilization, or the original Civilization. Colonization came out, I want to say like a couple of years after, and I love it. It's such a great game, but I'd rather be playing that, but I got to get this coding stuff done because I really want to get this to the point of where I can actually get back to development. All right, so is this done outputting all this junk? All right. One thing that I try to do a lot whenever I'm copying and pasting whole blocks of code from ChatGPT is I go to the last line just to make sure that the line, you'll see it changes the line number. Sometimes it's doing it because it's fixing it. Sometimes it'll take 131 lines and turn it into 10 because it just loves to truncate stuff for some reason. All right, this fixes the indentation issue from, oh, I guess I see what it was. I didn't do it correctly in the YAML. All right, so let's just do this now. Clear Docker compose upd. All right, so now it's just going to restart all the Docker containers. Most of this, I'm a terrible speller to begin with when I type, but at this point, I just I don't even bother correcting my spelling. ChatGPT doesn't seem to give a shit. So I only try to correct it while I'm on like live streaming, so it doesn't look like have the ability to write like a 3-year-old. All right, the next step is to test OAuth flow. Open your browser and go to, all right, let's go and try this out. Now, this is where it has failed in the past and nothing has changed. All right, so I am getting a 404. Did it take down all of code? Wait. Oh no, did it just screw everything up here? Shoot. Hold on a second. Hold on. You are making a mess of things. I don't want to put coder behind the OAuth. It has its own auth. I want my coder Terraform templates to be behind it. Actually, you know what? Let's see where this goes, because honestly, I'm getting a 404. It wouldn't hurt to put Coder behind an extra layer of security. So let's see what it has to say about this. I do like sometimes when I see how it thinks. A lot of times I just wind up cursing at it. I used to try to be nice to it, but now I just call it a moron a lot, and then it says that it gets upset as it's reasoning, but that it still needs to figure this out. All right, the 404 usually means that Trafic is routing to the request incorrectly. Try updating your OAuth proxy router rule. Sure, whatever you say, boss. Let me see if I can find this. All right, let's replace this whole line and restart your containers. Do I have to restart all of them? Sure, whatever. I have a, hold on a second, Docker PS. I feel like, I don't think the OAuth proxy is actually working. Just for shits and giggles, I'll come back here, restart, nothing's working. Let's get this over and see what it has to say. I'm still getting a 404. I don't think OAuth's container is running. The upside is that instead of me having to sit here and just randomly Google things and then take random Google stuff and then just try to get code that I find off of Reddit to work. This sort of is a little bit more. Update your OAuth proxy router rule to catch the OAuth path. For example, change the labels to this. Wait, what? See, here's where you got to be careful, because look, it totally removed the networks thing. So if I would have just copied and pasted this blindly, I would have lost all that. So let's paste this and fix the indenting. We'll save it, clear, and recompile or rebuild everything. All right, now it wants me to go to here. Still the 404. Are you using the Trafic's routing to ensure that is accessible? There are two separate things. Whatever. Keep track of the default Trafic routing that maps the subdomain to the Docker container name, and then the OAuth implementation layer. I don't suppose anyone who's watching knows how to fix all this. This is like so frustrating. I know, you will not work now. Everything's broken. And I know what I have to go back and revert, but all right, answering text messages. All right, add the base URL settings. Here's the updated OAuth proxy snippet. Where did my parsec go? I don't understand why it screws up this formatting so much, but all right, let's restart everything. And now it wants me to go back and test this. So let's see here. Docker PS. I don't think it's running again. Can we move on to debugging the logs? Trying to think of how I really want to do this, because I don't think I gave it enough context, and I might have to. Let's check out the OAuth logs. All right, let's start with the logs here. Clear. Cookies. Is this correct? All right, yes, those logs are correct. OAuth proxy is mapping a slash encoder upstream, and the cookie settings are as expected. The next step is to verify if Trafic is routing the request. Try accessing. All right, let me make a little bit of a gap here, just so I can switch back to this if I overlay it. All right. Getting a 404. Sometimes this actually works, and I found that ChatGPT is really helpful in going through and sort of debugging these issues. Most of the time, though, it gets stuck in this loop where it just continually can't figure out what it's doing, and then you get into a loop where you're frustrated and try to continue to just follow along, and then you never know necessarily where the actual breakdown in communication is. So I hope I'm not back in one of those loops, but I think I'm getting close to it. So now check your Trafic dashboard or logs to confirm. I don't think I can hit this. I don't have the thing. I don't think I can access the dashboard with this still giving me 404s and I'm getting a 404 at let's see, maybe the problem is the OAuth. I think the problem is you. I need to go back. I need to revert this stuff, because all this stuff that it added here is not helpful. I just think it screwed me up because I don't think it understood the context of what was going on. The logs look fine. The 404 author might be due to an upstream setting. Right now, OAuth proxy upstream is set to forward decoder. For testing OAuth endpoints, change it to a static upstream. For example, all right. Interesting. I don't think that other URL would have worked before. Restart OAuth. Let's restart everything. Let's do this. Docker compose down. Let's just take everything down and then bring it all back up again. Docker compose up D. So if you haven't used Docker much, the Docker compose is a file that allows you to orchestrate different Docker containers. Up means that it brings it all up so it's running, and the -D makes it sort of run in the background so you're not seeing all the console logs, and you can still interact with the console. Now let's go to this page. Yeah, so, all right, same issue. Still a 404. Can you think through this step by step on how to debug and find the problem? I'm like a moment away from just reverting back to the previous stuff that worked. I don't like the fact that it broke my coder instance. That's no me gusta. It's funny watching it just talk to itself. Okay, so execute. I guess it still doesn't, it never understands the idea of like one thing at a time. It just overwhelms me with information, and then I can't actually, like now, if one of these steps fails, then it just doesn't understand that it's like spewed out 10 steps and I can't follow all of them. All right, see, and right away, the first thing fails. I need you to follow directions, one step at a time. That was a lot nicer than how I normally would write it if I wasn't streaming. Usually I'm just cursing it out constantly. Have you asked 4.4? Sometimes the Soldier is better than O3. I know, you know, it's so weird. Like you have to switch between these different models and none of them are particularly great. I might switch back over to it in a little bit. I find that 4.5 just talks and talks. Yeah, hold on a second. This a minimal Docker container, so it doesn't have wget either. So if you need a debug tool, let's just walk me through installing it. Yeah, the other tip in streams was to start a new chat when things go wrong. Yeah, so I do start new chats a lot. Actually, what I do now is I notice that when it goes really long and like it continues to like lose context and just sort of screw up. what I wind up doing is I tell like, hey, summarize the last thing that we were doing. And then I take that summary and I put it into a new chat to sort of continue. But then it loses its context as well, which is sort of frustrating. Some of the other things I need to just do is I was going to try to do it on the stream, but I'm not going to have enough time. I have to stop at 4. But for my time, I'm in New York. What I'm starting to do now is I've been building out servers in my soon-to-be new office that are going to run their own LLMs, and I don't have the greatest hardware for it, but I'm hoping that I can at least get more specialized LLMs for coding and rely on them, and then not have to deal with, honestly, like ChatGPT just like crashes like all the time for me. Like the other day, it just towards the end of the day, I guess when everyone else is using it, it just can't handle the load. And I just found it super inconsistent. Like, whoops. Oh, no. User wants to access data from another app. Don't allow. Stop. Clear this out. There we go. I don't know how that happened. All right. The thing that I really get frustrated with in ChatGPT is like they update it behind the scenes and they're always pushing out these like little updates, and I have no clue what the hell has changed from one day to another, where one day it's working really great and then the next day it can't find its way out of a paper bag. My concern with all of this turns into the fact that like I'm just relying on it so much at this point that it's making me dumb. But I'm so in over my head when it comes to like this Docker orchestration stuff and the Terraform templates and trying to get the OAuth working and getting this whole like building my own sort of local cloud-based dev environment that I don't think I could even have gotten this far if it wasn't for using ChatGPT. So we're sort of stuck in this parasitic relationship. I'm trying to find the other word. I'm trying to find what the word is where it's like whatever it is where the snake is eating the snake. That's what I feel is happening a lot with relying on ChatGPT or any of these LLMs for coding. But I think the bigger thing turns into it's like I try to think back. To me, it's just another tool that I use. Like, would I stop using autocomplete in a code editor? No. Would I stop using Google and go back to memorizing all the APIs and everything and having a book on the table to do it? No. So this is just to me the next evolution of coding tools. I think it's just it's such in its infancy right now that nobody really knows how to get it to like work. I have to try Cursor though. I haven't really tried Cursor. I mean, there's so many tools, there's so many chat programs, there's so many LLMs. It's like hard to keep track of all of it or what's best and whatnot. So we'll see. Come on, finish reasoning. Chop chop. Let's go. I am going to switch over to 4.0 because I can't stand this like it's like thinking itself to death. This is a pretty straightforward request. Like if I go through and I look at it, it's telling me it's getting a 403, fine. And what did it want me to do? Network coder, clean latest, and it wants to look for the OAuth 2 proxy. But this wouldn't run. Wait. Let's see here. Yes, it can't find the server. I don't know if it really knows what it's doing right now. Because this wouldn't be... Oh, God. All right, well, I can't find it through localhost either. Oh my God, it's still trying to figure out what it's doing. Clear. Let's see. Docker PS. I want to see what the There's Coder, there's Postgres. Here's the OAuth container. Why don't I see the port for this? I don't think it exposed the port. Yeah, like, look at what's going on here. This is not... All right. Whatever you... Oh, this is my favorite. It's done. It finished reasoning, and it didn't give me anything. Like, it just returned Jack. All right, let's go to you. I think there is a disconnect here because the OAuth container is not exposed. So I can't even access it via localhost. Look over this compose file and let's figure out a better way to implement this. All right, so I'm giving this another 15 minutes, and then what's going to wind up happening is I think the solution that I'm going to go with, because I've just had enough of dealing with this for 2 days, is that I'm just going to have Trafic prompt for a password, and I will just generate a password. What I was trying to avoid is that when I'm doing these streams, I didn't want to like have it generate out a password, and then like while I'm showing people how I build things, you just see the password, and then it just sort of defeats the purpose of securing it. So change this. Let's see what this wants me to do here. All right. Trafic. Wait, where is this? All right, so it wants me to replace those two. Oh my God, why did it tell me to it just told me to replace stuff, whatever. I'm just gonna do this and pass it back to it and see if this is correct. Update your compose file. Hold on a second, before we do that. Like this. Yes, exactly. Okay, so let's restart the Docker container. This is my own doing, by the way. Like any normal developer. Whoops, hold on a second. Stop. Because I didn't save the file. Any normal developer would have just been like, hey, I'm just going to set this all up on my local computer and not have to deal with this Docker and Docker crap and anything. But what I've been trying to do is I really wanted these self-contained developer environments on my node, on my NAS, yeah. And I didn't want to run this all on my computer because a lot of the times, like I'm just not even on the same computer, and I hate resetting up developer environments. All right, let's test this now. So we'll go here, and we're the same shit, 404. Okay, same. All right, here's what we're gonna do. I've had enough of this. So let's revert back to when this didn't like screw up my Coder environment. And then we're going to start a new chat and Coder, fine. All right, save this and let's clear Docker, compose down. Sometimes like the best way to do this is just the easiest. I get so caught up in these, like, I want to do this perfect or I want to do this a certain way. And then I wind up like what I'm not doing today is I'm not actually coding anything. So let's do Docker compose up D. We'll pull all this stuff back up and let's see. This won't work. but I'm just going to try it for, yeah, of course that's not going to work. All right, let's go here to coder or code.weekend project. Perfect. Now let's go back to, get rid of this. I don't know if this container is still running because I've been like turning things on and off. Yeah, okay. Let's go, let's close all this out. Close, and come here back to our container. Let's open up the code server, terminal. Come on, give me my terminal. You're not really listening to this. You're lying. I want node server JS. So let's open this in browser. Hello world, great. Now I want coder-jesse. Here, I want test 24. And it's going to say the 404 page not found. Now, this is happening because if I go back into my settings, I look at my parameters, I need to make this public. So let's submit this, we'll make it public, restart everything. And right now, I guess what I'm trying to do is to back out of this mess that I've created for myself is I want to get it to where I can just make sure that the toggle for making something public or private works. Then I'm going to go back in, we'll start a new chat, and I'm going to have it walk me through how to just set up a very basic password authentication for Trafic and move on with my life. So tomorrow, if I have some time to stream in between packing, I will actually do something more interesting than just fight with ChatGPT. All right, so I think we already have an instance of this running, so let's just reload this. And node server, it's probably gonna give me an error. Oh no, okay, good, it shut it down. All right, we open a browser, we're getting hello world, perfect. Now let's go to coder, and I want -Jesse. All right, perfect. So now we're back finally to where I can now go and use the subdomain and call the actual Docker container name, and Cloudflare will handle routing the subdomain to Trafic. Trafic is going to take that and then route it now internally into the Docker container, and then it's going to expose it. So, all right, cool. Now that we've done this, there's something I wanted to do real quick. I've come up with this like little emoji tagging system. I just need to go find my actual tag. I've been trying to get better at organizing my chats. So this setup, let's rename this, and I'm just going to put a X here because you suck. All right, let's create a whole new one. I'm going to stay with 4.0 for right now. Let's see if we get some better luck. So now the plan is, I need to go back to my compose that's in the Mac or on my Mac. I guess technically it's in the Mac too. I don't even know. Let's clear this and all right, let's see if we can give it the whole thing and see what it does. So I want you to clean up this compose. Here, actually, I can make this. Oh no, I can't zoom in on this because it's the app. I want to clean up this compose file by removing my, actually, it's your failed attempt at implementing. I just gave up on how to type implementing. Attempt at implementing OAuth with Trafic, and let's move to a system where if a move to a system where it asks for a password. Then we'll look at my Terraform template, and implement the password there. All right. Let's just have it do its thing. Oh my God. Luckily you guys can't hear the music because it's just terrible right now. Does anyone use the DJ on does anyone use the DJ on Spotify? Every now and then it's like actually decent and it'll give me maybe a new song that I haven't heard that I like. But most of the time it's just sort of garbage. All right, use basic auth, ensure Acme Store. All right, let's try this out. Before we do anything, what I want to do is git status. Oh wait, you know what? Hold on a second. I want to make sure that there isn't something that needs to be done in here. Again, there's so many moving parts that like, well, let's do this. Let's clear git add all git status git commit. Sort of working with private public toggle. All right, what I want to do is there anything I need to do with my Trafic? What the hell? Trafic.yaml. And let's see. Yes, you need to update your Trafic to ensure the basic authentication middleware is properly configured. I'm willing to bet this file will define the authentication middleware. Ooh. Oh no. I always get nervous when it starts telling me to add like a whole bunch of shit that I've never had before, but let's follow along blindly and see what it does. Where am I making this dynamic YAML? I'll just put this right in here for right now. New file. All right, save that. And now ensure it's set correctly in your .environment file. Restart Trafic. .environment file. I don't have a .environment file. Let's give it this whole directory. I have a .env file. I want that. I want the password to be defined in the Terraform. Is this folder structure correct? Cannot type to save my life. Use Trafic dynamic in place. Since you want the password to be defined in the Terraform template, here's what you need to do. Modify the dynamic to reference your environment. Edit dynamic YAML. Change me. Modify the Terraform template to inject the password. I'm confused. What should go in change me? Change me. You need to place the username and password username and the hash password in the following format. To generate the hash password, run this command. For example, you might return something like this. So in your final line, since you're using Terraform, your Terraform script will automatically replace change me with the correct value based on sure. All right, let's go screw up my Terraform templates now. Oops, I want to go into templates, and let's go into this one. We'll go into the code. Okay, can you now update this template to support a custom password. Just make the password a coder. What do they call their own things here? Variable, resource, startup script. Coder has like a certain set of properties that they use that you can edit. Yeah, coder parameter. Param, so I can have different passwords for different projects. Yeah, I was trying to come up with an even simpler system before, which totally just didn't work, where I wanted it just to whitelist the IP address, and all my computers were running under their own like private network with their own private IPs, but Cloudflare was stripping out the request IP address, so I wasn't able to do that, which is why I've been down this rabbit hole. Update the Terraform template to coder password. Code parameter, coder password, truth dynamic. Sure. So let's add these things in. Oh my God, I don't know what the DJ is playing, but all the music has been awful. All right, so now let's see. All right, this is. I hate when it does this. See, this is exactly what I was talking about of what ChatGPT does. It's giving me this code here. Wait, something's so weird here. Okay, I see. Here's the end of text. Now, this resource for the Docker container, if I would have just copied and pasted this, it would have just removed all of my mount points. It would have removed the host, the environment, like so much shit. It would have just broken so much stuff. So let's just try this one other time. Can you update this entire block and show me all the code so I can copy paste? All right. I have to stop in a little bit because I have some more packing to do. I'm hoping though that this will just work, and then maybe tomorrow I can hop in on a quick stream and do some coding. I was working on a couple of interesting projects over the weekend, just messing around with. I was working on a to-do app that basically it's really for me just to keep track of some of the stuff I do, but where each day, if you don't complete the tasks from the previous day, you can't complete them, and you've just not completed them. I think I was calling it like forgot to do, but a little bit of a play on the words because somebody else I'm sure has forgottodo.com. All right, we'll copy this. Let's go here. Let's paste this. Okay, so I keep hitting Control S out of pure habit. Okay, so we're going to do build, and we're going to make this version 25. Publish v25. All right, now what? Use the custom password, secure authentication. Next steps, define the new coder param in Terraform. I already added this, didn't I? Let me make sure I added that. Coder param, fine, okay. So now each project should have its own password. Let me know if you need further adjustments. I'm almost 99.9% sure that I will need further adjustments. Clear. Let's do Docker compose down, and then we'll just restart everything and give this a try. Does anyone want to take some bets on whether this works or not? I don't know if I'd actually accept those bets because I'm pretty sure it's not going to work. it's weird. It's like, it's so weird as a lazy developer. I don't want to rely on ChatGPT. I want to say maybe like 6 out of 10 times it actually helps me. But those other 4 times are just the most frustrating time that I have to deal with ever. And I still keep coming back for more because I guess I'm just a masochist for it. All right, I've restarted this. I've redone this. Now we're here. Let's create a workspace. Whoa! It did not like that idea. What did you do? Broken my coder instance. What did you do in my compose file? Whoops. Wow. I'm actually shocked that I almost thought it was going to be like 99.9%. Or did I say 99.9% that it would fail? Because that's basically where we are. The possible issues for terrific middleware configuration, the updated compose file we added, basic auth, ensure that check the dynamic YAML exists. No. What I want to do is, because now refreshing this is just going to crap out. Yeah. All right. Let me look back here at this coder. Huh. Oops. Did you change the way that traffic routes to coder? Oh my God. I can't take this today. There, while I wait for it to explain to me how much it screwed up everything, I'm going to at least lower my standing desk. Okay, so where are we now? I hate these days when I make like no progress whatsoever. What I changed in the routing: remove the OAuth 2 proxy, added basic auth middleware, change traffic YAML to basic or previous. How to fix it: revert the old file. Open your backup if you have one. If you want the basic, hold on a second. I only want the basic auth on my coder projects, not coder itself. God, I gotta go back. The other day I had this sort of working, but update coder. Here's the fix for the Docker Compose. Yeah, there's just like too many moving parts in this thing. And I guess this is like, for any of you who followed me when I was building Pixel Vision 8, this is like the road that I go down, because I do love building tools, and I spend way more time building my own development environments, my own tools, and my own automation than I do actually coding the things that I am trying to code with it. Whoa, something is wrong here. How did it go from 128 to 97? Cloudflare, database, coder, SOCAT. I'm going to try this for a second and just see what it did, because I'm going to revert. Basic auth is now only applied to your projects, not coder. Use basic auth is now only applied. Update the Terraform configuration for your workspace. Well, before I do that, let's see if you actually just fix this thing. Compose down. Oops. Docker compose down. Oh my God, Docker compose. Decoding failed due to the following error. Error, service serving command, invalid command line string. Invalid command line string. Why am I getting this? The command is incorrectly formatted. Command. I love when like it gives me something and then it's like, oh yeah, of course. The problem is that the command is not formatted correctly. I'm like, but you gave me this command. I don't think this is the fix either. Maybe that was. All right. Up. Yeah, it does not like this at all. Nope, 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 nope. All right, clear, clear, clear. Git reset hard. All right, let's do Docker compose up D, get everything back up and running. Let's make sure I can go back to code. All right. All right, let's try this again. I reverted my code. Oh God, I gotta stop soon. I think one of the things I really need to do is I really should implement the coder environment to follow the same routing that the Terraform templates do, but that's a problem for another day. Let's try this again. I reverted my compose file. I'd like to start over and ensure that the routing for the coder container is not changed, and we remove the old OAuth and add the new password. All right, let's do this again. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff that I just don't understand when it comes to all this like security stuff. I mean, it does make me really appreciate these sites that like come up with their own like developer coder environments and all that stuff, because it's a lot of moving pieces to build. All right, so we're going to replace this. Again, super concerned how we go from 128 to 97, but because we are removing the OAuth stuff, I'm just going to let it ride. Let's go to the YAML here for this, save it, and let's go to dynamic and change it. I love how now, like, this is the other great thing that like ChatGPT does, and I'm sure all the other LLMs do. It's like every time it gives you a solution, it gives you a completely different way of implementing it than the way that it did before. But whatever, that's not here nor there. Generate, wait, I don't want to generate the hash password. Why don't you understand what I'm talking about? I don't want to generate the password like this. the password, whoops, password needs to come from the coder Terraform template when I run the container, the workspace. Got it. You want each workspace to have its own unique password. No shit, Sherlock. Isn't that what we... I really think that I started the conversation like that, but... Come on, we can do it. Spit out that good code. Blech. All right, come on. We're almost there. Here's the good stuff. All right, let's go back into my compose file. Cool. I think it's even going like to less. It's like even less lines now. Okay, now update dynamic. All right. And update the Terraform configuration. Well, before we do that, let's just see how much shit you broke. Down. Honestly, given the way that this has gone, I feel like I should have just been playing colonization today. But that's fine. All right. Everything seems to have started. Now let's go back to here. And reload. Oh my God, why does it do this? Try to access coder. Moron. Don't give me this shit. I don't want to deal with this. Yeah, all right. I think this is where I'm going to end this stream because I might just murder ChatGPT in a minute. Let me see here real quick. Clear. One step at a time, moron. Ah! All right, I did this. Check if traffic for errors, clear. No, there are errors. Lots of errors. Fix the Docker socket access and traffic. All right. Did you break the, whatever. Let me compose. All right, so clear. What do I have going on in here? All right, whatever. I want to do Docker compose up D. Let's just see. I think that's supposed. Whoa, this is already defined in line 47. Oh, I see. It screwed up the indents. Come on, come on, come on. Okay. I'm so tired of this. Like literally and physically. Or literally and theoretically. Or literally and... well, whatever. I'm tired. All right. That's finally back up and running. Okay, I can get to Coder now. Let's see here. I want to create templates here, source. What do I need to update here? Come on, we can do it, right? I'm already over the time. I definitely have to stop this soon, but I just want to make this work. Here's the updated Terraform template. I don't know. I don't think I'm that dumb, but you're missing a lot of the rest of the template. Whatever. Let's go piece this shit together now and figure out how to actually get this working. Coder. Oh, wait. Let's do this. Traffic. All right. We did that. And we should have, oops. This string var coder password. Great. And we have default password. Perfect. All right. This is now going to be V26. I shouldn't even show you like the other ones that I've been doing. The templates are up to like V100 because it's just so much weird trial and error. All right, so let's create a workspace. Oh my God, we're back to this again. These errors when I try to make a new workspace. Create a workspace. Since you're getting failed definition, it usually means that something is blocking. I know it's blocking it. Test if Coder backend works. It does work because I've been using it. This worked fine before. All right, I'm calling it because I can't deal with this another. Wait, all right, no, oh my God, it's so addicting. You just want to get this fixed. Check if the traffic is blocking assets. Modify the middleware. Try bypassing authentication for static files. Add this to your. Restart everything. All right. No, I can't do this. I'll try this again tomorrow. Anyways, thanks for watching whatever the hell this stream was. I promise in the next week or so this will get a lot more interesting as I actually just figure out what I'm doing and I get past a lot of these hurdles of setting up this very bespoke dev environment. So anyways, have a good night, and I will try to stream tomorrow, but then the rest of this week I'm moving into a new office, so it's going to get a little bit messy, and hopefully starting next week I can get into some sort of consistent schedule. So thanks. Have a good one. Peace. I'm out.